everyone. I have so much to talk to you about today. It's 4:14 on the clock, which is the Emperor and the Temperance card, patience and balance, taking that path off the beaten path and to higher love. Oh wow, and it's really windy today. I was just out for my jog and it was really cool. I'll tell you about that in a second. I did want to make sure you saw this picture from yesterday. I posted as part of my tag. But it just cracked me up because I had noticed after I put them down, I just put them in the wash and I put them back down and they were sitting just like Thanksgiving, right? There's always somebody who's upset and then somebody else is just sitting there on the couch watching TV. So I hope you find the humor in that. It certainly made me crack up. So, and I was just out for my run. On my way back, I walked around my front tree to see if there were any feathers out. And I didn't see anything blue, but then a little piece of branch looked blue tinged to me, so I brought it in, and it actually looks more purplish green. But it ended up being a really cool piece of a branch. It's very tiny. But here is the branch. I wanted you to see it. I don't know if you can get the details on this, but let me turn the light off, see if... Oh, it's not even on there. See if I can get it not so bright. Maybe if I hold it back a little bit. Well, it's hard to get the details on it, but let's see if I can get it closer up. Yeah, that's better. There you go. So you can see the details on it. And it reminded me of, it was like a cross of my Moses with their hand up in the air, right? And then Jesus on the cross at the same time. But they also look like they're wearing a mask. And it also reminds me of John Travolta, right, in his dance. And then it also reminded me of the little head guy in Beetlejuice. So that was pretty funny too. So much came up. The morning read from the Metatron deck took me like all day to do. I'd done my other reads last night, but wow. So from this morning or just now when I went out for my run, like I said, it's been really windy out all day. And as I went out, I noticed as I walk for a block or two before I start running, and there were leaves just circling around the trees, like displaying themselves for me. It was like a concert. It was beautiful. And then as I started jogging, I all of a sudden came upon my lawn guys, but they were all they weren't doing any lawns, and it was really cold out today. They were all by the truck, but standing around the sidewalk like they were waiting for me. They were all standing like in a semicircle on the sidewalk where I was about to run, like they were greeting me, and I immediately got the end of Titanic when all of the dead people greet them as they come up the stairs at the end of the movie. And then as I passed them, after I said hi to them, a man was out walking his dog, and his dog literally sat down on the sidewalk and was waiting for, like looking straight at me, waiting for me to come to him. And as I passed, of course, I said hello, and I reached my hand out, and the dog just jumped at me like he had known me forever. It was a really cool, surreal feeling. And then as I ran down the last leg of my run, the leaves were like following me as I ran, and then twigs and branches started falling in front of me like olive branches across the sidewalk. It was really, really cool and surreal at the same time. And then, of course, I got back and I found that little twig outside. So that was my run. But what also came up for me as I was running, let's see here, it reminded me of a couple, I think it was 2016 to 17, around Christmas into the new year. I was guided to go to a cathedral not far from me. It's about 15 minutes from my house, for 12 days, every day for 12 days. And it was snowing like crazy, so it wasn't like an easy thing to do every day for 12 days. And, be sitting outside the church, in the cold weather. So I always had to bundle up every day, but I did it for 12 days. And it was amazing every day. The things I saw every day were just beautiful. Like one day there were like geese all over the front lawn of the property. There was a ton of them. I can't express to you how many geese there were, and I got beautiful pictures. And the final day, on the 12th day, there was a wedding inside the church, and after being there for a few minutes, I was asked to leave because of the wedding. but I could literally hear them because they have speakers outside the church, so I could hear the wedding ongoing. It was beautiful, and it was the last day of my guidance, was a wedding. And that's what I was getting today. It was taking me back to the 12 days, and on the 12th day is the wedding. As I was also getting downloads again about the Golden Gate today, which is 1212, the Archer, but also the Centaur Gate, as opposed to the Ram's Gate and the Lion's Gate, the Centaur Gate of 1212, and also has to do with the second coming, right? As we go 1212 into Christmas. Ding, that was confirmation. I was also getting lots about the numbers 3 and 4, which is 7, and of course, it's all a play around the 7, and that 3.5 is always coming up in the Bible, the 3.5 years going into the 7, but there's never any such thing as 3.5 because that's right in the middle, and things never stay stagnant, so you're never equal. There's always shifting going on, and there's always shifting from the masculine to the feminine, from the 3D to the 5D. So it was expressing that to us, that you're never equal. You're always trying to stay a little bit to the left or a little bit into the light, a little bit off of the center. All right, so that was my run. Now I'm going to go into the read from the Metatron deck, which I'll show you in a second. And it was really cool. Okay, so this is the Metatron deck. By the way, really important today also is the energies of bullying. I forgot last night. At 9:45, someone all of a sudden, and thank goodness my curtains were, well, I don't know, if my curtains were open I might have seen them coming, but someone was banging on my door like they were trying to break my door down. And when I got up the guts to go up to the curtain to see who was out there, I just saw 2 guys in the middle of the street running north from my house. So I don't know if they got the wrong house and they were messing with a friend, or if they literally were causing problems. But, I did call the police about it because it scared the crap out of me. But as I'm losing my voice, right, because it takes your voice away when you get scared. It's so cool right now. I'm looking out my window at the tree, and I have a Tiffany lamp next to my couch here, and it's reflecting in the window, and literally the branches on the tree, like the leaves are all dying and falling off, but one particular branch, instead of the leaves on the ends of the branch, it's literally the flowers from my lamp hanging down. It's really beautiful. I wish everybody could see it, but I don't know if you could because it's the angle of the reflection. But anyway, what I realized after this happened was the movie I was watching was a very violent movie because it was about a female boxer, which I don't usually watch those kind of movies because even if it's the point of the movie is a good thing, I don't like the violence, it's hard on my senses. But I realized as watching such a violent movie, I literally manifested instantly someone coming and trying to ram my door down. But bullying as a theme has been coming in this week for sure, bullying. And also the number 144 will come up in this message as well. So here is the Metatron message. Just clear that up a little bit. Okay, so that's the Metatron read for today, and this is what it said. We'll do the singing bowl after I get this read done, but I did want to get this in because there's some important messages there. Okay, so this morning too, when I woke up, I didn't wake up. I'd slept a lot last night, and I didn't go to bed really late. I even think it was before, was it before 12? No, it was like 12:30. It wasn't too late. So I went to bed around 12:30, and I didn't wake up until I think it was just about 11 o'clock, which I never sleep that much, so I don't know why I slept that much, but I did. And I realized I was dreaming, and it was so weird. I was dreaming of a house where I was in a basement that I was familiar with, and the steps of the basement went into a wall. They didn't go anywhere. Like half the steps went up to a wall, but it was like an old basement where they had redone the basement and they stopped the steps on that wall, so it didn't go anywhere. But there was another set of steps, but you had to kind of hop up onto something to get to the steps that actually went upstairs. So it was really weird because I knew I was familiar with this basement. I don't know if it's a basement from a past life or something. But then I was also on the boardwalk, but it wasn't the boardwalk I'm used to going to. It was something else. And the person with me was similar to someone I know, but it wasn't that person. And we were walking and talking and then going somewhere. And then I was connected to another house at a beach town where I was looking at two different houses, but it was familiar to me, not just from this dream, but I couldn't remember if it was familiar to me because I had dreamed it before, or if it's because I researched it before, and I still right now don't know which it is. Is it a house I actually researched in a beach town, or was it something I dreamed before, but I'd seen it before. It was so weird. And by the way, after the incident last night of feeling like someone was trying to beat my door down, I mean, it only lasted for, a couple seconds because they were banging really hard on the door and I didn't know what to do. So, of course, I'm trying to then center myself so I could figure out what to do next. And that's when I went up to the window to peek out the window to see if I could see without them seeing me. But they had already run down to the street, thank goodness. But anyway, in that fright, I also was very proud of myself because I wasn't afraid at all last night. So that was good. So again, it's just about coming back to center, remembering it's all outside yourself, right? The only thing that's real is love, the love that's inside of you and your inner connection, and knowing what's real and what's not real. I also was guided when I pulled my yoga cards this morning. I got like 5 cards. So the ones that were standing, I took outside and I did outside in the sun, which reminded me of someone who used to live with me when I was in my early 20s when I was married. He was an Aikido instructor, and he used to go out back every morning and meditate, for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes out back in the sun. So it reminded me of what he used to do, and he's an amazing person. And again, I want to remind you guys too to focus on your wings again. So again, the exercise where you put your hands on your shoulders and you circle your elbows forward, but especially back, because you'll really hear the clicking in your wings. And just follow your own guidance. I mean, if you focus on that, you'll get guidance about what to work on, which is why I love this yoga deck, because it starts me out, and then as I go, I learn the different exercises and I find what resonates with me and what I need to do every day, even if it doesn't remind me to do it. So the Metatron deck here was at 155, which is Justice and the 55 of the Truth, Excalibur, the Ace of Swords. And the underlying energy was, the first 2 cards in the underlying energy were indigo, yellow, and then on top was codependency, which is 53, the Knight of Swords. So indigo and yellow is very royal colors, right? It's the solar plexus and the third eye. And then the codependent tree that's connected at the root with a lock and key. So the key is there with the lock, and yet you choose to stay locked in. But because you know you are free to leave at any time. You can't have love without truth, but you can have truth without love, which again, from 2 popes, can be excruciatingly painful. So the third eye here is coming up as indigo, and the solar plexus, which was coming up as the solar deity, your solar plexus is your solar deity. You are worshiping yourself. The solar deity is the solar plexus, and your third eye coming up very strong here. And then the roots tied together. 2 roots, not 1. Sharing the same entry wound. Psychic confidence was coming up here, and sovereignty, and knowing that you are free, no matter what, in being tied to your other. That freedom isn't an external lock and key. That freedom is always within you, in your connection to Creator, your own knowing. So to relax into yourself, or the surrender, and the lock opens automatically. You are the solar deity, indigo child. Bluish purple child. You are also crystal and rainbow, deciding when, if, and how to express those sides of yourself. Breaking the mold and patterns, the rebuilder, or then entertaining the crowds as the rainbow child until you are done, to keep them distracted and smiling. So the first card out was the ancestors, which is number 34 of the 8 of Wands, the energetic exchange with those ancestors, right? The bridge to your past and to your freedom. Connecting with ancestors in gratitude and healing sending love and empowerment. And there was a video that came up about the Aborigines fighting for their land and the police taking all their stuff if they don't leave. So sending love and empowerment to the Native Americans. And again, they came up yesterday and the day before, all about Thanksgiving. And again, these are Aborigines or natives everywhere in the world, sending lots of love and empowerment to them. And the energetic exchange of the generations, those who've come before you, all of the indigos that have come before you, all of those who have fought for their rights. So then the Golden Gate card came up, which is number 33, which brought up the 1212 gate, the Centaur gate, and the Archer gate, which notice 1212 is 33. The Golden Gate card is 33, the Christ vibration. And again, that's the Seven of Wands, standing up for oneself without getting triggered. And what I noticed about them when they were fighting about their land and not wanting the cops to move them off their land, I also was just then taken back to the other sages in our world who've always been calm and not fought. And also a situation where a woman was being robbed and she offered another to the robber because she felt bad for them. It's that love. It's just being in that heart space of they know not what they do, and to remain calm and to know no matter what's taken from you, they can't take away your freedom because your freedom is inside of you. It was just a really profound energy coming through. The Archer was coming up as the Urgent Arch. And of course in the Golden Gate Gate Bridge was coming through, the 1 mile suspension bridge. So the Urgent Arch, the bow, the rainbow of the coin, because centaur is cent, which is a coin, and coin is another way of writing Kohan, which is the co-pilots, but also the coin, which is sense, right? So multiple pennies is sense, which is also senses, sense. 2 hanging men here with the 12 and the 12, and then the GG for the Golden Gate Bridge. So the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco connects the bay to the Pacific Ocean. It's the San Francisco Peninsula to Marin County. And they were guiding me to break down the peninsula, SF Peninsula, to Marin County. And what came up here was, and that's when I started writing down how strong the wind out. It's still got crazy gusts of wind outside. At 1229, which is the Hanging Man and the 3 of Swords, peninsula breaks down into peninsula, which has a lot of definitions, but this is how it came up. So this is what I got from SF for San Francisco, which by the way is a musical attack. Notice the words that are being used. And also Sula, one of the definitions is to throw a small object with great force, and musical attack. You see the bullying here. And then SF also means yesterday. So San Francisco Peninsula, Marin County. And this is the meaning that came up through the breakdown of that phrase. SF Peninsula, Marin County. Yesterday, musical attack, which also can be broken down into musical attack, right? Something to amuse themselves. Yesterday, musical attack. Pen in throwing a small object with great force or by hand. Molten cigarette or a feminine cigar to clean excrement off the sole of your shoe or shit. To erase, delete, inflammation, swelling. Ruby or garnet polished. And remember when I told my story about the egg that I went in for my meditation, that the stone was saying, please understand that being dug up from the ground is painful, to be cut into a diamond is painful, but the worst part is the polishing of the stone. So here it was coming up as the ruby and garnet polished, which really hurts. And then the gannet or booby birds came up, the deer or deer one, in the Golden Gate bridging, the GG Archer to the sea in the Sea of County, which means he, she, or it, with gratitude and owning it. So it's literally San Francisco Peninsula, SF, and then Peninsula. And Sula, one of the meanings is deer, like deer, both deers, D-E-A-R and D-E-E-R. And I always talk about deer one. So the deer one, or the musical attack, or yesterday was the SF, and the Peninsula or deer one, and then Mar is the sea in county. So the sea in the sea of county, the Christ consciousness, which then is like owning gratitude. So again, yesterday, musical attack, a pen in throwing a small object with great force or by hand, molten cigarette or feminine cigar, to clean the excrement or shit off your shoe, to erase, delete, inflammation or swelling, or the ruby or garnet that was polished that hurts. The gannet or booby birds. The birds are feminines, right? The deer or dear ones. In the Golden Gate bridging of the Gigi Archer to sea, in the sea of county, he, she, or it with gratitude and owning it. So the gateway card, and I want to show you the gateway card again because I've shown it to you before. Let's see if I can find it here, because it's important when I'm describing it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is that card that I'm talking about, the dimensional gateway. So you see it's got two flames, it's got two pillars, it's got two wings. Jesus is standing in the middle of the doorway, and it's all about the golden white light. And you notice there's a steepled arch at the top. Okay. So in this gateway with two wings, two flames, two pillars, and a steepled chaste, so that steeplechase or chaste, being pure, was coming up, with a V'd archway at the entrance to heaven on earth, with Christ as your guide. All golden white light, in changing from indigo to gold, there is brown illness on the way. There's no way around it, you know. Okay, so you notice here in the picture, going from the indigo on the outside to the gold on the inside is brown, and brown is a color of illness. Okay, and remember, all of us have some shade of brown skin, so it's not pointing out any one skin color or another. We all have brown skin. So from the gateway of two wings, two flames, two pillars, and the steepled chaste, a V'd archway at the end. The V is creation. It's the vagina as well, right? The portal to the womb. The archway at the entrance to heaven on earth, with Christ as your guide. All golden white light, and changing from indigo to gold. There is brown illness on the way. There's no way around it, you know, which you've all been through as you got knocked down in your dark night of the soul. Indigo to violet, whether it's injury or illness or whatever it was for you, it's different for everyone. Indigo to violet, to white, to silver and gold. So again, going from your third eye and up over your head. Indigo to violet was coming up as indigo to violet. And so literally that was coming up as a lot of different comparisons. In egg, go to egg, right? Because both di and vi mean egg. So in egg, go to egg, in order to be, exist, have, and play, stew, pool, touch with the tip of the penis was also coming up here, or the melting pot. Or in to die, go to alive. Or in two, go to six, to be and exist, have, and play, etc. Into dawn, go to living. Or into give, go to yourselves. In water and river, go to wine. And in to change, go to micro and fin. In defeat, go to sanctuary. In mirror, go to a minor triad, right? And mirroring yourself. In to search, go to descendants. And in I know, go to we, right? So you're going to the other side. In a town, or to say or to tell, go down below. And the tooth came up. In tooth, go to little, like little tooth. And in suckling, go to child. To be, to exist, to have, to play, to stew, pool, touch with the tip of the penis or in the melting pot. It gets a bit muddy from indigo to gold at the white purification cycle or in the bleach load. So then I turned the page and it was 1:11 p.m. and p.m. was coming up as significant here. And it was funny because in college my roommate's cat had named her cat Piss Monster because they pissed on the way home when she brought the kitty home. So the Piss Monster gray was coming up here because Piss Monster was gray. And then it was coming up as the P being a D of the divine masculine off to the left, like going more into his feminine. So then ancestors were coming up. I'm going back to my read and the Golden Gate card, which notice ancestors was number 34, which is energetic exchange, the 2 E's, and gratitude of the TY. And then the Golden Gate, or the GG, is 2 3s of the 33, which is my rolling stone, the E that becomes the W, that becomes the 3, that becomes the M. And so it was showing all of these. The ancestors was the EE, the GG, or the Golden Gate, was the 3 3. The diamond white wing that came next was the white wing, the WW, purification cycle. And then indigos, joy to the bridge with the ancestors in gratitude to the Golden Gate for purification cycle to achieve the diamond light. Or as we go into winter, right, the purification cycle. And then I stopped to put some sunflower seeds out for the birds, because I'd realized there was none out there anymore. So the new dawn, by the way, those seeds, by the time I put these seeds out at 1:17 and I came back from my run a little while ago, they were gone already. And they're never that fast in getting all of them. It was getting cold out today. So at 1:20, which is the Magician, the 20 of the Judgment card, a new dawn with sunrise in high vibration, stretching with the orange color, right? Using your sacral energy to stretch and release all that stuck energy. The sacral energy of the 24 and the Queen of Wands always comes up here. And then the Mailman came at 1:21. So the 12s and 21s were coming up pretty profoundly here. The inner child came up to go within with the 36 of Atlas and the weight of the world, but it's coming up as the heavy weight, right? The Atlas is able to carry a lot of weight. And the inner child then do the inner child meditation. So I stopped to do my inner child meditation, but it was just taking me back to the numbers 3 and 4. Because right as I turned the page, I was playing with the 3 and 4 and the cycles of 3 and 4 to see what the difference is between the 3 and 4s, right? So the 3 cycle is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. The 4 cycle is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. And if you write them down, you notice that where they meet is at the 12 and the 24, right? Because they're all divisibles of 12. But you also know that in the 3 line, when you get to number 12, it's the 4th digit. But when you're in the 4th line, you get to number 12, it's the 3rd digit. All right, so they always come back to each other, the 3 and the 4, and becoming the 7. So, of course, when I went through the 3 and 4 and 7 and the 12 cycles, which is the 144, 12 by 12, I'm like, okay, so 3 and 4 are divisible into 144. So are all the digits divisible into 144? And of course, 5 is not. And then 7 is not, but all the rest of the numbers are. So then I was guided to why is 5 and 7, why are they not divisible into the 144 if it's such a significant number? And of course, 72 came up here too. So, and of course, 3 times 24 is the 72, and 4 times 18 is the 72. And of course, twice that are the 144. So 3 times 48 is 144, and 4 times 36 is 144. So all of these numbers are very significant. So I was wondering why, all right, why are 5 and 7 not included? So I divided 5 into 144 to see what the number was, and it was 28.8. So I looked that up, and I also divided 7 into 144 to see why 7, what that number meant. And so this is what led me on a journey. It was very cool. So after the mailman came and I looked this stuff up, I looked up 20.571428, which is 7 into 144. And this was from GrahamHancock.com. So 144 divided by 7 cubits is found in the Queen's chamber in the pyramid. And this was from Piazza Smythe's book called Our Inheritance in the Great Pyramid. And this was from 1864, it was published. In regards to the circle, which is what the guy is talking about on the website, in regards to the circle and how he believes it applies to the upper chambers, and then there's some mathematical equations they're going through, which is above my head, but for those of you mathematicians out there, this may be very significant for you. So the 1/5 times 360 minus the 1/7, or 1 over 7 times 360 equals 2 over 35, or 72 minus 51.428571 equals 20.571428, which is the 144 divided by 7. Play this out as 1/10 of the chamber's width and 1/20th of its length, and the complete diagonal is 514.28571, which is again that number, or very similar to it anyway. So then 7.2 is coming up as equal to 36 divided by 5, or 72, and then in parentheses is 7 1/5, which I don't know what the hat is representative of. I forget. So the pyramid without the bottom on it, the little hat. So it's 1/5 with the hat 2 equals 1296 over 25, or 51 and 21/25, the angle of G1 in the diagram. So you can look that up on that website if you want. Graham is Graham, Hancock.com. 72 hat, the high hat 2 equals 5184, and then 7 1/5 times 20 equals 144, or 12 hat 2, or could be divided by the top course of 7, 144 over 7 equals that 20.57142857. The roof's block, they're putting down diagrams of the pyramid chambers. The roof block is 72 by 20 equals 1440, which is the 144 with 0 on it. And the 1440 times the Eye of Horus, or 63 over 64, equals 1417 and 1/2 cubits, which equals the EW width, the east to west width, or of the Giza layout of 3 large pyramids, NS 1760 cubits, or G1 pyramid parameter base, and the Eye of Horus, 63 over 64, equals 1732 and 1/2 cubits, the layout of the parameter of 6300 cubits. So then I was trying to get to specifically why my number was coming up in the website. So the middle course of the diagram here of 22 times the roof blocks that they were blocking off to measure, 72 by 22 equals 1584 divided by the top course of 7 equals 226 and 2 over 7, and the length is the length of the Queen's chamber in inches. So here's where it comes in, where it's very significant. So the length of the Queen's chamber in inches is 20.57142857. But they don't use inches there, they used cubits. And what do you think 20.571428 inches equals in cubits? None other than 11 cubits. So the significance of 20.57, or that 144 divided by 7, is 11 cubits. And of course, simply dividing the middle by the top, he goes on, equals 22 over 7. So I was then guided to their diagram. They had a whole list of things here, and one of them was called the power of 3. I was just guided to it for no reason, and it was under what's encoded. So there was 2 entries of the power of 3, and one of them was 550 from April 11th, 2018 at 1542, and the other one for power of 3 was 733 on April 12th, 2018 at 2112. So that time was very significant. And I looked them up, and there wasn't much that came up under each one, but the first one, 550, came up just with the number 8 dot, like period, 8 period, which is significant for us, and then DPP. And then there was an image that you couldn't pull up. It just had the image number, but there was no link to it. And then for the one with 2112, I opened it, and there was nothing there except for the DPP and the image that wasn't there. So it's very kind of mysterious there. But again, what was really important here is 144 divided by 7 equals 11 cubits, which is the length of the queen's chamber. How cool is that? 144 over 7 is 11 cubits. So I then looked up 28.8 because that's 5 into 144. And this is at 155, which is the magician and the truth. And 28.8 is the speed of an analog modem that can transmit up to 28,800 bits per second. And that was from Encyclopedia 2, thefreedictionary.com. 28.8 was also coming up as a BMI, or body weight, BMI, that was considered overweight. And then also from BibleHub.com, Acts 28:8 came up, which said father was sick in bed and with fever and dysentery, and Paul went to see him, and after prayer placed his hands on him and healed him. All right, so there's a healing there. So it's telling you guys to use your healing abilities. But also on the same page when I pulled that up was Matthew 9:18, and Matthew's my son and my birthday's 9:18, so of course I had to read that too, which said, while Jesus was saying these things, a synagogue leader came and knelt before him. My daughter has just died, he said, but come and place your hands on her and she will live. So this is, again, I just told you that cross was a mix of Moses and Jesus, and here you have a mix of the Jews and the Christians here coming together, right, where someone from the synagogue came to get Jesus to heal their daughter. So then Matthew 28:8 also came up. So the woman hurried from the tomb, afraid yet filled with joy. So this is when they found the tomb empty, and ran to tell his disciples. And right after they left, this was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary, were told that Jesus were not there, that he has risen. They left and actually ran into Jesus as they went to tell everybody else. And so I also said, well, if 20.57 ... is 11 cubits, then what's 28.8 in cubits? And I looked that up, and so that ended up being 15.4. So I looked up 15.4, and what came up again was a lot of Bible quotes from Bible Gateway and Bible Hub. And that first came up was Romans 15:4, which said, and some of this might be paraphrased, it's not word for word because I was trying to write it quickly. For all written in the past was to teach us, so that through endurance in the scriptures and encouragement they provide, we might have hope. And then Matthew 15:4 was, for God said, honor your father and mother, and anyone who curses their father and mother is to be put to death, which is very interesting. So again, they're putting the fear that something bad is going to happen to you. So to remember to be discerning when you take in anything that makes you feel fear is not of God, right? Because God doesn't want you to be in fear. So again, be discerning with everything that you read. Then John 15:4 comes up. I'm not saying for you to curse your parents, but we've all cursed our parents at one time or another. So we'd all be dead if that were true. So John 15:4, remain in me and I will remain in you. Just as no branch, as I just told you, branches were falling before me on my run on the way home. Just as no branch can bear fruit by itself unless it remains in the vine. And you can bear fruit unless you remain. So you won't be able to bear fruit unless you remain in me, which is so funny, as I told you, the flowers that were growing out of the tree, and now I just see my lamp completely in the window. You can't see what I saw before anymore. But again, it's paralleling the growing the fruit from the tree that's dead, right? Because it's losing all its leaves. And then 154 came up as the pill ondansetron hydrochloride, which is the nausea vomiting medicine. But it was very interesting when I looked it up, because it says no proven risk in pregnancies, and I immediately was getting a red flag because I never took nausea medicine when I was pregnant. But you can imagine how many people have taken nausea medicine when they're pregnant. And I don't know, and they're saying no proven risk in pregnancy, but what is it actually doing to the child during pregnancy. So that for me was coming up as a red flag automatically when I read that. 1.54 was a movie in 2016 about bullying. And this was about a guy, Tim, at school who'd been bullied for like 5 years, which escalated to 11th grade, where he had a gay friend that he denied because the kids were, he was already being bullied. So Tim gets back into running again that he had stopped a few years back when his mother had died. And 154 is the time that Tim has to make running the 800 meter in order to guarantee him getting into or to qualify for the nationals. And of course, the bad guy, Jeff, is his competition in getting to the nationals. So then Tim gets drunk one night and has a gay encounter at a party where Jeff, the bad kid, films him. So of course he then threatens him, if you try to beat me to get into nationals, I'm going to post this. So of course he does get the time he needs to qualify, and Jeff then outs him with his video. He puts the footage out there. Even though Tim's father is now supporting him with this video out there, Tim gets really upset because, his gay friend had committed suicide. He makes a bomb that he'd learned with his friend who died in science class to blast Jeff's celebration party after their victory and had qualified for the nationals. And then he would release his footage as to why he decided to do this. And then in a moment of remorse, he tries to remove the bomb, but then ends up dying because it explodes in his hands. And then the friends, you see the faces at the end of the movie of Jeff reacting, or his friends reacting, to how sad it was that they couldn't change Jeff, their friend. But Jeff is now still justifying that it was just a joke and he never meant any harm. Like, of course, it wasn't his fault. So again, this is a lot about bullying and how significant it is. So yeah, really important to try to heal the bullying stuff today. The sword and the stone was also coming up again, because I remembered a meditation I did yesterday where I actually was pulling all the swords out of my heart and putting like those, it's the band-aids you use for something that might need stitching, it's a little stronger than a regular band-aid. But I was just putting band-aids on the wounding and it was fine. And I was just saying, don't worry, they'll heal, they'll be fine. So it's pulling those swords out of your heart. And then the inner child, the dragon fire, and the sun looking at the codependency of the bee to the flower and going into more of their yellow than orange, which is the solar plexus, as opposed to the sacral. So bringing it up further to the heart. And the endings every day of the peach colors against the indigo at sunset where you are held. And by the way, it's 4:38 was my sunset today. I was just describing it to you because I told you about the flowers and the trees that now I don't see anymore because it's getting too dark. So and right at that moment, a car went north up my street really fast at sunset. But to remind you that in all endings at every day, you are always held. But then I was getting the wind was still going and that the storm is brewing. And again, how all has to do with bullying. So the love relationship of rose and aqua harmony within the heart and the white light reflecting the pink weeping willows, whether a tree or a chandelier upside down. Self-love, spiritual love, and new love go with the flow of one-to-one. Review Akashic records to see new perspectives. The Holy Grail is the golden white light to infinitum that you possess, along with blessings and gratitude of abundant universe and heaven in your eyes, that it's Thanksgiving every day. Shine on, beacon, streaming your light upward and outward, rays of golden white standing strong and allowing the waves to rush up to your structure to show you love and appreciation, while being strong in your convictions at 255, the High Priestess and the Ace of Swords. Detached from the drama and unconditional love as the King of Cups looks up. At 257, which is the Three of Swords, along with the High Priestess, the sword and the stone, again pulling the swords out of the heart. The final sword removed from the heart, the warrior of light, and Sirius silver to big bird with big wings and all of the colors of the rainbow, a multicolored bird with rainbow connection, the stone-breaking plant, very tall and odd-looking, but so silly and goofy that they couldn't possibly be harmful. And why would anyone suspect? So again, this is talking about the right people to infiltrate within a group or organization. The underlying energy here was all about the indigo mysteries, to be the plant, locked in and yet always free, because nobody can take your freedom within. The first column here is bridging with your ancestors at night before dawn, and then firing up as above, so below. Number 2 is being invited to the Golden Gate, Gigi. Just stretch to get in and see your reflection in the sunset. Go with the flow and paddle on. The third section here is to purify your wings and diamond light with inner child work, with the weight of the world and love in your heart, and seeing new perspectives with Akashic records and hanging out, seeing those new perspectives. The fourth section here was reminding you that you are the Grail, abundant and the beacon, the vehicle through which the golden white light enters the earthly realm to spread it around with blessings and thanks. So it's reminding you, just being a human, you are the infiltrator, because you are bringing that golden white light through. You are the vehicle to which we infiltrate the earthly realm, because they can't do it from outside the earthly realm. The King of Cups union with the Queen of Swords. Detach from drama, heal serious wounds, and prioritize which chakra to work on. So this is literally saying, as the unions are coming together, the King of Cups union with the Queen of Swords with her light, detach from the 3D drama and heal your serious wounds from Sirius, and prioritize which chakra to work on together. Very cool, huh? All right, so, all right, now I'm going to go back to the message of the day. I'm going to turn the light on because it's getting a bit dark. So the message of the day, and I'm going to show you the picture here. All right, so this is the message of the day from my 4 decks that I always use. That's the Animal Spirit deck, the Lenormand Reverie, the Gilded Tarot, and the Kipper deck. Okay, and so this read, this is 1109 last night. 11 is, and that's the opposite of, 9/11. 11 is Justice, 9 is the Hermit. The underlying energy were the Fire Ants, the Rider, the 3 of Wands reversed, and Concern. So the Fire Ants drawn to the target. So again, that target of the entry wound, the inflammation, right, the swelling. The Fire Ants drawn to the target, the fight, the accident, the wound. And the Rider on the magic adventure looking back with man, I was just getting the Man in the Moon, and the man with concerns. And Latka definitely was the man, who always looked like he was concerned, right? His face. That's so funny. The Lamb and Turtle, one a target and the other slow in the dark, coming from miles around. If you build it, they will come, is the energy I'm getting there. Sunshine and breakthrough in the exposure of the mama bear, who's pushy, and the devil, perhaps devilish, exposing the powers and towers, and the lucky high priestess, the Queen of Cups crossing twin bridges with 2 of Cups, or 2 as one direction, the child in transition of spiritual union, of peace, and the fox leaving behind the henhouse to go on the ride of their life. The victor over the high priestess, the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands unsure, as the wounded warrior is on their last leg, standing up, though, in a heated exchange or in the heat of the moment, looking back as the man with sudden thoughts of a woman, the main female high priestess, and the wounded warrior's path, and the coffin of death, and the sun in the fight to the death of the Queen of Cups toiling and laboring, and the Emperor's court, and the Queen of Wands thief, and the man with concern about martyrdom. The first section here was the lion, the zebra, the shark, the raccoon, the hummingbird, and the buffalo at 1146, Justice and the 2 children in the garden. The lion and zebra, led by the shark, to the raccoon, songbird, and buffalo. two big bookends. The two bigs were bookends. So the lion and the buffalo on either end. The lion's coming up as Dr. Jackal, Leo tough, the Emperor reversed, Atlas flying ship with no water to land into or nothing to float their boat, and the zebra with their third eye activated, with wise counsel to drop the act as the King of Cups walks away in poverty, starting out with nothing. The shark in abundant energetic exchange with the world upside down, or with the Divine Feminine in 5D and the Knight of Cups community. The raccoon is sad, masked bandit, with snake in the garden walking away and within, hermiting the changes. The songbird was self-love, new love at the workplace, with gift of dreams and healing. The buffalo's at home or stable with the emperor and sister, or suffering in silence with the romantic little girl. The Emperor reversed, messed up and abusing their power, with the Divine Feminine in 5D walking away from the workplace, suffering in silence, or perhaps with the sister, and the Atlas with the King of Cups walking away to the Knight of Cups community, with complete change and a dream gift from romantic little girl or their inner child. The second section here is the dolphin, spider, the golden egg, and the eagle, the hawk and the stingray, and the horse, which is Mr. Ed, all following the leader, Mr. Ed. Dollface, or the dolphin, in high vibe cuts, detoxing in order to journey on. The spider web is on a journey to open new doors, focusing on their heart being complete with empty family room. The golden egg, or the golden child, Page of Cups, with masks, with the Knight of Wands reverse player, wealthy man in transition, and the eagle is coming in with sudden dreams and finding a way out of the Empress, or abundant marriage. The hawk is clearing the way for the loving man, Justice, or Libra, with Lady in Wait, both at 28 or at the Y in the road. The stingray is activated and plugged in to Mr. Ed, expanding the family tree and needing hope to heal with a message of concern, of patience and balance, and a higher love. Mr. Ed as the King of Wands, or perhaps the King of Wands is a pest. So he could be the King of Wands, or the King of Wands is a pest to Mr. Ed, with rugrats or petty thieves on the Queen of Swords upright, and an official person on the Fool's journey. Detoxing heartbreak with player, and found a way out to justice in need of hope with the Queen of Swords with the light. The journey to family of the wealthy man, for a wedding perhaps, but the lady at 28 receives a message of concern or a warning officially, or from the Godfather. And again, that can be referencing to my door getting slammed last night. The third section here is the beaver, the swans, the frog, and the camel. The beaver gives a damn about what's be there? Be there. Be there. So someone gives a damn. The beaver gives a damn about the swans, frog, and the camel. The beaver, Knight of Cups, is taking a gamble with clarity about present imprisonment or gifts that are imprisoning to them. The swans, or dove, power male frustrated to hang out with privileged lady. The frog in the rain, the Knight of Wands wanting to commit to the truth and triumph as a free, mature man. The camel's inspired by a letter about the Knight of Pentacles reversed, blocking or attacking a house or unable to escape the big house. And the Knight of Pentacles is blocking a letter from being delivered. There may be clarity here, but they're unable to understand, even with clarity, the truth of a bad seed here, like how bad this truly is. And the fourth section here is the owl and the whale. Wise and old, exhausted. And before this, both the privileged lady and the mature man may be prisoners of their own houses. The owl and the whale, the wise and the old, exhausted. The owl, wounded warrior without ties and implementing a plan with loving mature woman. The whale with a wise group of birds, and the Queen of Wands reversed, who may have hit the jackpot with sudden wealth with justice. And that was the message of the day. So now we go to the two reads. We're going to the union read and the twin flame read. So here is the union. For those of you not familiar, it's 40 today, 5D and 6D. Incoming divine feminine, outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies, the closing energies up here, and the feminine on the left, masculine on the right, the bridging between them in the center. And this is the Syrian Starseed deck. And then here's the read in front of you on the table, the basic read from the Syrian Starseed deck. And then we have the full read on the table here, 7-deck read. So if something doesn't resonate with you, remember it's a general reading, so not everything is going to resonate. And if you want something more specific, you can check out my information below as well as on my website, twinflames3344.com. So this read was 4D, 5D, 6D at 5:30 p.m. yesterday. 5 is the Hierophant, 30 is the Union, or the Four of Wands, the home. And the underlying energy was the Two of Pentacles, the King of Cups in the middle, and then the Five of Pentacles at the end again. I think it was the same card that was there yesterday. Coming together to surrender to all that is. The King of Cups in the middle, which is also unconditional love, with the Hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave in exile, the Mother of Abundance. And then Thai service for 9, hanging out with the Twin Flame. The incoming divine feminine, again, after surrendering to all that is, and the Justice of the Knight of Pentacles making an offer to the divine feminine's heart in the E-Tower and reaping rewards. The 4D is the 5 of Wands, 10 of Wands, and the 9 of Swords. The divine feminine with group drama or waves of flames, the divine masculine hiding underground and bridging at Atlas, leaving the wounded warrior behind with flame in hand. The 5D is the 7 of Swords, King of Cups, and the 8 of Pentacles. The 7 of Swords passing downloads from the 6D, King of Pentacles, or Akashic Records, to the 4D to 5D flames, with 2 men watching, and the divine masculine working outside the divine feminines with crystals to align, bridging with the King of Cups and unconditional love. The 6D is the Sun, the King of Pentacles, or Akash, and the Moon. The divine feminine sunshine and exposure making leaps and bounds, with the divine masculine at night coming outside to be out of the sun or not be seen. Under the ground crystal cave waning off the full moon. Bridging in the Akashic Records, or with the King of Pentacles crystal skull with no jaw, right? Can't speak without a jaw. The sun and the moon, and then the truth in the Akashic Records. The outgoing divine masculine is the Emperor and Reason of the Queen of Wands Tower. The Emperor giving a dog a bone, with the Queen of Wands Tower moment, with the Hermit in exile in the Mary Magdalene cave with the Empress. Or one child, could be a sexpot, with the father, or is living with the father, and then the deep one who's more of a loner with anxiety issues staying with the mother. The divine feminine pursuing happiness through downloads and risks and exposing all. The divine masculine hiding as not to be exposed and working to align with the moon goddess, or the lunar moon cycles. The bridge between them is Atlas and leaving the wounded warrior behind with flame in hand for the King of Cups and King of Pentacles, or the mastering of cups and the mastering of pentacles, and unconditional love along with Akashic Records. The divine feminine with Libra and Leo or Sag on their side, the Knight of Pentacles and the divine feminine's heart. The masculine with Cancer, Aries, Scorpio, and Taurus on their side, along with the Queen of Wands and the Emperor and the Empress. The divine Jew, I was getting like au jus at the restaurant, so it's J-U-S, divine Jew, right? So juice, or can be the divine Jew, which is Jesus. The Knight of Christ and the Chariot of Purging in a Reason Sage of the Tower. So the reason for clearing of the tower, or a reason of being wise with the tower. The divine Jew, Knight of Christ, or the Chariot, which is ascension, of purging the reason for clearing of the tower, or being wise with the tower, or a tower moment there. The overall number here was the 53 of the Knight of Swords rushing in. That can be a messenger of truth or a knight in shining armor. And the horizontal pillars came out to 7, 15, and 31, which is the Chariot, the Devil, and the 5 of Wands. And the vertical pillars came out to 207, which is the High Priestess, 0 is Source or Space, and 7 of the Chariot. The 12 is the Hangman, 10 of the Wheel, 17 of the Star. and then 2 zeros before the 5 of the Hierophant. So the messages came up as ascending through the shadow and the drama as the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth. The High Priestess was space, or an announcement or judgment of the chariot hanging out, destined star with lots of space for freedom as the Knight of Swords. Okay, so that was the message coming up. So now the read in front of you, which is the Twin Flame read. And I cut the Syrian Starseed deck at 6:10 last night, which happens to be my mom's birthday, but also my grandfather's birthday and my great-grandfather's birthday. It's 6:10. 6 is the Lovers, 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. And then at 6:22, which is the Lovers and the Fool, F Chalices came up, which is expanding and contracting, or staying in the middle, reflecting feelings of emotion and heart-based things. And then the ES came up, which is the S of Sophia, but also E, whatever ES resonates for you. I was just getting essence also. 6:36 to 37 is when I finished clarifying. So going from the Lovers and the Atlas energy of the weight of the world to the 37 of unconditional love. The only major arcana in this read, because yesterday we had a whole lot of major arcana, today was only Karma. That was it, which is the Judgment card. 4 Pentacles, 2 Wands, 2 Cups, 2 Swords. So a lot of 2s here. And then the Queen of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Queen of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords in the read. Before the read, the Knight of Swords, along with the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands before the read. And after the read, the King of Cups and King of Swords came up. So you had lots of pages and queens in the read. The Knight of Swords before with the 9s, and then the Kings after the read. It's like they're all separated. And then the numbers came up. We had 2 triples, triple 10s and triple 8s, along with double 9s and double 4s. So the triple 8s is about the twins coming into union, because that's the 2 8s being knocked over into the infinity symbol. And then the triple 10s, which is really high vibration, keeping your vibration really high, along with the 44 of mastering, grounding, integrating your ability to receive love especially, and the 99 of compassion, which is endings, completions, universal selflessness, the 9, the collective consciousness. So very profound numbers here, along with the 2 of the High Priestess, and in lesser sense the 5 of the Hierophant, or change, freedom, and expansion. We also have 24 of the Queen of Wands, 48 of the 8 of Cups, 810, which is 0 behind the 81 for me, which is the end of karma around the world, and then 45 of the 5 of Cups, 58 of the 4 of Swords, the Phi energy of 89, and then 910, begin again and again, always reminding you to come back to the moment, come back to the center in your heart at 0 point. The code line was all about domestic harmony, which was broken up into Dom, Estic, and Har, Moni. There were no numbers in the code line today. And the translations came up as follows. Christ expanding and contracting at the half moon, which is right now, because we're halfway between the full moon and new moon, which is a really calm time. The Christ expanding and contracting, or just staying in the middle, reflecting at the half moon, being clear, wise, or saging the bridge, or earned income credit, or editor-in-chief could be coming up here, and seeing the key in expanding and contracting with the Queen of Cups, and the stone-breaking plant, or the plant that they to infiltrate, the Page of Swords. So it's all about the Queen of Cups and the Page of Swords here. And the Page of Swords can be a message, and the Queen of Cups, which is the Sage of Chalices, can just be the clearing of emotions and heart-based feelings. It was also coming up as no effing idea, the wise one, or editor-in-chief, which can be God, editor-in-chief, seeing the key to expanding and contracting with the Queen of Cups, with infiltrator, Page of Swords, which can be a message. The verdict, the house, the gift to be, to stand as present, the venerable egg, the sound of laughter, about the penis perhaps, and domestic harmony at last. Or not effing invited, the union in energetic exchange and the inner child, or informed consent, or that could be ice cream as well. The seeker of wisdom, of emotions, of the stone-breaking plant, the seeker of thoughts and words, of blind men and orphans, or the seeker, Queen of Cups, and the madman, Page of Swords. Also the wrongdoing of the wise egg of Christ consciousness, seeking the Queen of Cups Fool with a message. The gift to be present with the sound of laughter and money, right? Maybe they didn't know what they lost out on or what they were going to miss out on. All right, so we start out here with the Queen of Pentacles reversed. There's a lot of people in this read. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles is this underlying energy, and I go down 5 cards, so I'll tell them to you, and then the mini cards are on top. So beneath that Queen of Pentacles reversed, from the bottom up, is the Ten of Swords upright, the Nine of Pentacles reversed, the Four of Cups upright, the Knight of Swords reversed, and the Nine of Wands upright. And before that Ten of Swords at the bottom was the Ten of Wands too. So we have all 4 tens here, because we have the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Swords in the underlying energy. And then we have the Ten of Crystals here, which is like the Montagues and Capulets, and the Ten of Cups here. Okay? So all 4 tens. This is a major ending here. Ending pain of or with bliss of dumping a load, responsibilities, and or confessing, powerless to boredom or grounding and integrating and holding your tongue with the wounded warrior, Queen of Pentacles reversed, dumping a load to release or quitting in heartbreak or separation with Aquarius or for their dreams to come true. Released and working on guilt, of standing up to injustice, of awakening to secret passion under the radar, patient angel, off the beaten path of a higher love, a message, or the Page of Swords stepping up to the plate. The sword or bat like wings. After failure, the angel got their wings, getting their leg out of a harness and feet into the pond and out into the country or ranch to take a stab at the truth without good news. Aquarius is upright along with Sag. Libra, Capricorn, Pisces are reversed here. Out in the cold or passion that's overwhelming them. Imaginations of what did I write? Oh, the streetcar named Desire. Imaginations of the streetcar named Desire, working to align with the Tower and blowing their mind. And I was also getting from blowing is blowing their mind with the Empress. Or worked at this, or this could be someone who actually worked at the Twin Towers when they went down, or knew somebody who did. And then the time came up 7:27, and I don't know what kind of planes they were that crashed into the towers, but the Twin Towers were definitely coming up here. The Empress upright, or working with epiphanies, blowing their top, their cover or crown or mind, which can be referencing the towers, going down, or mind-blowing downloads from the Empress, or working and suddenly becoming the Empress. And again, with the towers can be bringing up the bullying, because literally that's the biggest bullying of all, is right crashing a plane into somebody's tower. Passion here, and below that was religious factors, which doesn't have to be religion, any kind of differences between peoples. The devil marking maybe feeling castrated and marking their territory with no options for meals. The Page of Pentacles reversed is coming up as pushing the princess out of bed who won't wake up, in disconnect or at a distance for the harsh truth, right? Wanting to get the truth out of them. No loving connection here with Barbie in the basket, and this could be someone who drinks, like I was getting Animal House, Barbie in the basket when she's in the grocery store cart, with Mary Jane's on, and torturous surgery or rehab, or forcing plastic surgery on someone, or handcuffs to see if they trust them. No desert or no dessert, won't wake up, and the next thing he knows, he's cuffed and being filmed. So this could be bribery, right? This could be someone too, really insecure, like in the beginning of a marriage, doing things so that they have a weapon to use against them if they ever leave them, if they ever do anything wrong to them. They have bribery stuff, right? So getting them drunk and handcuffing them, doing things that they would never do to them, so that they could ruin them if they needed to. It's really like awful stuff coming up. And again, it could be like that Mean Girls bullying type of movie that you would normally see. No dessert, won't wake up, and the next thing he knows, he's cuffed and being filmed. Or porn addiction, or with a porn star with no connection and sexual abuse. No dates, just straight to bed, forcing themselves upon them to get pregnant and wed. And then music comes up with 32, which is the journey. And then follow your dreams of 85, which is grounding your union into reality. The message of the Page of Swords with a big announcement, letting go of bad health and weakness and pride or Leo out of control, letting go of money or spent their last dime to pay for health care bills. The Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community or world may be weakened by companies, their bad influences, and social distancing and or third-party juggling. And this could be interference, right, from people at work and the powers that be. And, you know, what I felt, too, when I saw that fight between the Aborigines and the police, the police just think they're just trying to do their job. They don't want to lose their jobs. You know, they don't realize that they need to stand up for themselves and do what they think is what's right, not what their boss says is right, you know, and be willing to lose that job if it really doesn't resonate with you. And they may have no idea right at this moment. They may not be awake, right? So they think they're just doing their job. So again, they know not what they do. So there may be this energy here where there's an imp, you know, in charge of the money or the inheritance. Like, who put them in charge? Like, what crazy person put them in charge of the money? And that could be a treasury too, like of the township or any kind of treasury here. Perhaps somebody who has problems with drinking or women and spends all their money on that kind of stuff. Juggling the rainbow with a leak in the ceiling, and Ellie about to blow, and the turtle too, slow. The imp got there first. Or untrustworthy treasurer or financial advisor or relative who's been careless with their funds. Aquarius upright, Leo reversed here. The performer, Queen of Pentacles reversed with a message or sent the Page of Swords to the Empress about the harsh truth of the music of journey and without peace. Or juggling the Queen of Pentacles reversed, sending a message, and the Empress upright with the harsh truth. And that could be a mother and daughter as well. Or the Queen of Pentacles reversed with a message, but the Empress with the whole truth, the day the music died. The very underlying energy here was coming up as the Atlas energy of the weight of the world, coming clean with or about sister or suffering in silence or Rapunzel in the tower. Going forward after this read is the energy of healing, dreams without option and frustrated, holding your tongue or lashing out at lover, bleeding out as the King of Swords, wounded warrior, and wounded warrior, as the King of Cups reversed may be bored with the Queen of Cups upright, or is bored with her ignoring his offers. In the recent past is the Page of Pentacles, curious about their abilities, and the Ten of Pentacles backing up the Page of Wands, who's inspired to leave behind being alone with the Queen of Cups, presenting the truth to the Queen of Swords without facing her, or she could be stabbing her in the back. The Queen of Cups could be stabbing the Queen of Swords in the back, but the Queen of Cups is focusing on her heart. So it doesn't make sense that she'd be stabbing the Queen of Swords in the back. But by giving the whole truth without looking her in the face may be like stabbing her in the back. And then the Queen of Swords is speaking their truth of injustice, of the Hierophant or Libra reversed and Taurus upright, and the Knight of Pentacles letting go of moving on to dump their responsibilities at 7:59, which is the Chariot and the War of the Five of Swords, and settle out their differences, imbalances, or debt, or just get to the truth. At 7:59, again, the moment before the hour, 7 of the Chariot, and then the War within becomes the War without. The foundation here is the Eight of Swords reversed, the release from prison, of frustration with the Six of Cups, children or soul tie, the inner children, and juggling to save or withhold money, time, and energy, or to play ball or magnetize. The central energy is the Page of Wands upright, the masked boy with fans, the leader at work not making calls or needing to swallow their pride, with the King of Swords who may be in disconnect or at a distance, who may be unhappy with himself or just being alone, but he's upright here, he's in his integrity, with Libra reversed and Taurus upright and Aquarius reversed here. The challenge being the Queen of Cups, who may be conflicted or fighting about sudden events, an epiphany, or a sexual exchange. Manipulative or insecure and without tools or no options, with the Hermit shedding light on the towers, and the King of Wands reversed with new information knocking him off balance and not sharing with the world, Pisces, or the Seal Divine Feminine, and coming full circle. Finally got information out of them about a fantasy, with the Chariot reversed or broken in, two bulls split, exposed or broken down, or on vacation, and ending a big cycle, with Pisces or the Divine Feminine, with the Knight of Pentacles offering help to the King of Pentacles in separation and holding back an announcement or calls at work, with unhappy family or in an emotional cycle that's so over, with the Hermit holding light for those below. And presently, with Karma reversed or Aquarius reversed, which can be holding back an announcement, not heeding the call, needing to swallow their pride, and Aquarius reversed perhaps, looking back at the patient angel or Saggy standing up for themselves about a separation or heartbreak, with the Two of Cups upright connection, and juggling, losing money or dependent or powerless to get over it, and the Knight of Swords reversed lashing out on deaf ears, causing fights and conflict, or the pursuit of happiness in receiving big love offer through deception, with Leo strong-arming the boar and forcing them to drink the water, and social distancing, or they with bad influences around them and deceiving them, and flirtation here, showing off by removing their clothes, and the third party up before dawn to research and explore, or invite Leo, child, or pet, with a temptation they can't resist, or inviting them to dinner to try to get them drunk to have sex. The fantasy Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, with the Knight of Wands to the rescue to whisk them off. With Leo and Capricorn upright and Cancer reversed, also Pisces, Sag, and Scorpio here without peace, or ran into temptation walking the dog, or Leo with an opportunity or an invitation too tempting to resist. The Page of Cups is upright, in a death or ending or dark night, and a powerful or a painful end, with a message of love from Scorpio Sag, or dark night in pain, and the King of Cups reversed without peace, falling for or bumping into the Knight of Wands, who's raring to go, and the Wounded Warrior, who's defensive and saying no, or surrounded by Scorpio Sages, and the King of Cups reversed, or Aries fell from grace or embarrassed themselves at 826, which is strength, manifestation of dreams, and the Page of Wands. Or this could be a father and child facing off in a death or facing off to the death, and that could be sudden death playoff as well, or a fight over puppy love. This could be a father and son fighting over a woman as well. So soon here is the Four of Wands upright, the home of the King of Pentacles, or kids or vacation home, under the radar with Hermit with light on the tower. The King of Pentacles energized and awake and letting go of unhappy cycle, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, secret passion, third party, and withholding or saving or playing hardball, but without peace in the deception, or up at the crack of dawn, or the King of Pentacles got the house and the kids, or the house that makes him happiest, so he's happy. Virgo upright, Leo upright, Capricorn, Pisces, and Cancer are reversed here. Or home seeking attention from kids, or kids seeking attention from them, and wide awake. They're both wide awake. The twin flames seeing themselves here as the Ten of Pentacles family, again the Montagues and Capulets, where the Ten of Crystals or Pentacles would be the Montagues. The abundant family, business, or community, home awake with message to bring or to step up to the plate. Seeing synchronicities and or the one, with heaven in their eyes, of chaos and brokenness, of the Emperor reversed or Cancer reversed and Aries reversed, who may not be happy about this. The Emperor reversed may be stealing from the 5D connection, wide awake and rising above, and implementing a plan to invest in or pay off the Queen of Wands reversed, or a Divine Feminine to open up to the Queen of Wands reversed with a message. And they may not be happy about that. Or synchronicities of breaking down the Emperor reverses abuse of power in lying, cheating, or stealing, or running away, or investigating those awake at home and suffering in silence and implementing a plan, with the Queen of Wands reversed and the Page of Swords upright here. We have release your ex, reconciliation, playfulness, and then wedding, that the situation involves marriage. Around the twins are how they're seen as the Two of Pentacles upright, surrendering to all that is, as the Knight of Pentacles is offering help to walk away from a heated exchange with the enemy, or Libra who's on guard, or both destined to face their fears. Or the Knight of Pentacles and Libra are amused by this, with a plan to get them to leave by causing delays. The block here being the Page of Swords, messages of light, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed with secret passion, third party, or is that, with domestic harmony, but even more so here, new beginnings and love partnership. Needing to swallow their pride with the Queen of Swords, who may be hurt by the man in the mirror. The Ten of Cups reversed, family, and that could be business or relation or community too, but it's much more heart-based, but it's reversed here. Or the Queen of Swords with Aquarius in her chart, without peace, with that Ten of Cups reversed, family, or ending to an emotional cycle. And the Knight of Cups reversed, rejecting and standing up for themselves to the family, or maybe vice versa, they could be rejected by the family. They're both reversed. Or watery Aquarius, perhaps Scorpio and Virgo or Aries, locking horns with a fiery Sag, Hermit Virgo, Scorpio, who's walking away from the family without telling them why. And the King of Cups is reversed, the King of Swords is upright, out in the cold lovers, or with twins, or Gemini. Or the King of Swords is Gemini, kicked out, with the King of Cups, and they're not getting along, at 849, which is the strength, the fight, the manifestation of dreams. As the Queen of Pentacles reversed is released from the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, surrendering to all that is. The Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands may be challenged by the Queen of Cups, who's at home, with the Page of Swords, or a message, holding back from the Ten of Cups reversed, family. The Knight of Cups reversed, leaving without telling them, or to cause delays at 851. 51 is the King of Swords. With the King of Cups reversed, and the King of Swords in exile, as the Hermit is in the Mary Magdalene cave, as the lover, or with the lover. The King of Swords can be all three air signs here, or the Queen of Pentacles reversed with a message about her release of the Page of Pentacles juggling or performing in release, with the Page of Wands challenged by the Queen of Cups, Scorpio, Pisces, or Virgo, and Aquarius reversed, or karmic retribution here. The Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, with the Four of Wands, home or castle, surrendering to all that is, with the Page of Swords message to the Ten of Cups reversed, family, who's not happy about this, or a rejection letter and the reasons why. In the Montagues upright versus the Capulets reversed, the Empress is upright, the Emperor is reversed. Breaking up could be the same as the Emperor and the Empress could be the same as the King and Queen of Cups, or they could be two separate parents, but both in the same position, where the feminines are upright and the masculines are reversed. And the King of Swords is with the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords issues. That could be a father with two kids. And the King of Pentacles could feel like a kid again. He's happy with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or without her. And the Queen of Pentacles reversed is with the Page of Pentacles upright, or without them. Or the Page of Pentacles is the King of Pentacles if the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or if he's with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or wanting to be. So if he doesn't want to be the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles could be a child. But if he wants to be with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, the Page of Pentacles is the King of Pentacles, feeling like a child again, or wanting to be. Or the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles are representing the Ten of Pentacles family, or messages from them to the Queen of Cups from the Capulets in a duel with the Queen of Swords, or giving the Queen of Swords ammunition, unwillingly, to use with a divorce proceeding, with the Libra reversed and Taurus upright. The King of Pentacles gets hope, or he gets the home, right? So he's happy if he gets the home here. The King of Cups reversed, or the Emperor reversed, does not. The Emperor may be his father or father-in-law, or the Empress upright and the Emperor reversed, and the Queen of Cups upright and the King of Cups reversed may be two separate sets of parents. The Queen of Pentacles reversed could be the Queen of Wands reversed. They could be one and the same person, as well as the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords. They could be the same person. The Queen of Cups is the challenge, and the Page of Swords is the block, and possibly 3 kids here or pets, or that could be lots of messages too. And the King of Swords may be upset with the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords because she is enjoying herself without him at 9:16, which is the Hermit and the Tower. So it's really long. It's 125 already. 125:11. The Knight of Wands and the Magician and Justice. It's 5:40 on the clock, which is the Hierophant, or change, expansion, and freedom, and the Page of Cups, which is that pure, innocent love, the child. So let's see what the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck has for us here. So again, the really important here is clearing the wound of bullying, and that we're coming up to the 144 is really significant because connected to the 12 by 12 and the second coming, which starts, I guess it's the 12th, it's the 12/12 portal going into Christmas. And the 144. And the Queen's Chamber, the length of the Queen's Chamber, that was really cool, is 11. All right, so what is our message here? The wolf. The wolf is stunned, right? They look like they're either confused or they can't believe what they're seeing, or they're just so exhausted, they're kind of numb. So whether they've been stunned into submission, or they're just so exhausted they can't move, or they can't believe that, like, the leader of the pack isn't allowed to tell everybody what to do anymore. They have to allow them to follow their own knowing. So it's like, needing to step down from their power or stay in that position, but also change their perspective on how they deal with people underneath them, so to speak. And then we have the Cosmic Egg, which is the collective awakening from another perspective, right? Because in this deck, you can see the collective awakening from the top down, which is the snake around the planet, or from the side, which is this view of the snake around the planet, right? 2 different perspectives. If you see it from the top, you only see the one circle of the snake, but in this perspective, you see the coiling of the snake. There's a new dimension here about it, right? It's more than it seems. And the wolf may be a little confused. Maybe they thought they understood, and maybe there's still some stuff they know they need to learn. Right? He's the leader, so he's smart. But now maybe he thought he knew something that he doesn't know, right? And now there's always more to learn. But again, facing the collective awakening, and perhaps they're stunned that it's actually really happening, because maybe they heard about this stuff, but they thought it was a bunch of hogwash. But now all of a sudden they're seeing it happen, and they can't believe it's actually happening. And then here we have the crocodile on the other side, right? That this is the bad guy, right? Taking themselves down by being service to self and cutting off their nose to spite their face. So you don't need to fight them, because they will, by their natural position, take themselves down. And maybe the wolf was told that, and now they're actually seeing it, and they can't believe it. Because it's actually happening the way they were told, and they thought it was hogwash, perhaps by the dear one. The dear one who's plugged in and turned on by God. How do you like that? That is a really cool message. Mr. Ed always comes up as the Saggy Godhead here. And here's you, dear one, who's directly connected, fully activated, and connected straight to God. And this is, like I said, the wolf is stunned by what he's actually seeing, because what was told to them by someone who thought, maybe they thought they were just a space cadet and didn't know what they were talking about. And now they're actually seeing it happen. And the bottom of the deck is the fire ants, right? And this is like the fighting movie that I saw last night. The wounding here, the star, the accident, whatever draws everyone to the center of it all. And there's the turtle who's really struggling, right? This is the no man left behind. This is the last one left behind, because they're really slow to begin with. And now they're struggling in all this dark energy. They're just saying, go without me. I can't make it. And it's like that no man left behind energy, where they all gather around to get the turtle. How interesting is that? It's so windy outside. Let's see what the journey of love has for us. I love that message. That was really good. Because that means things are happening. People are seeing it. Things they didn't believe were possible or that would ever happen, that you guys were crazy, and now they're actually seeing what you said happen. And this is also, as I'm looking at the ants picture, I'm really getting like, at the scene of an accident, nobody's walking by. Like, where before lots of people would just stand there and do nothing or walk by because they didn't want to get involved. And now everybody's getting involved. No one's leaving somebody behind. All right, so from the journey of love, there's a group that came out. The bottom of the deck is the blood dance. This has been coming out a lot this week. This is the 42 with the 2 of cups. So it's the one-to-one connection. And the blood dance, that's your connection with source. That's how you get there. Sweet soul rising is the 20 of judgment, of making announcements, of being your inner child, your innocent self, staying connected to the body, right? This is you floating above your body, right? In the etheric realms, connected to source. And then here's you grounded into your body and being in that one-to-one dance constantly, the blood dance of who you are. And these are the cards that came out. We have Let the Feminine Lead the Way, which is 39. That's the Knight of Cups. We have the Falling of the Feather to keep it really light. The 14 is the Temperance card of the angels, being the patient angel and off the beaten path, taking one step at a time into that higher love by staying really light, but allowing the fall. And it's very fall colors here. Letting the feminine lead the way in the fall. The Knight of Cups being love. She's got this kundalini wrapped around her little pinky, right? She's got it down here. And she's dancing with it. No, I'm losing my voice because someone's got to eat their words is what I'm getting. All right, so the falling, being very light, keeping it light. And then the 48 is the man of the earth, woman of the sky. This is that walking away and within energy. And you see how these are all women here, laying their hair, which are connectors, right? You connect to spirit through your hairs. They like tell you, they're like little antennae. They're laying down their hair in the vortex so the masculine will pick up the signal, and now they're all grouping together to lay down their hair to make the signal stronger so they'll understand where to come to. They'll feel it. That's very interesting. I never got that before. And then the earth angel, like she's pulling up the blanket. It's like they're creating a blanket from their hair and then they're using it purposefully. The earth angel, the 54, 1.54 came up today. The 54 is the Page of Swords, the message. Let me sit on this just for a second here. And even with the 3 cards without the black and white card, you see how similar the colors and energies are? This one's more smooth. There's more choppiness in these 2, but they're definitely very similar energy. There's just more pinks coming into the second 2 cards. That coiling is very important, of seeing the snake coiled around the planet, because it's coiled around her arm too. And you see too, it's shaping an E of energy, the E. It also can be CC for Christ consciousness. Being love, walking away within, and sending the message of the Page of Swords. The blanket. So I'm getting this, the Kundalini here is being equated with the hair being laid down in the vortex as a signal for the masculine to be able to pick up that stronger signal as they lay it all down. But it's like a quilt being made out of hair, and this is that hair quilt that she's then dragging to wherever they need it. It's a very, Very cool. Oh, that's weird. This red just went into her arm. Like this became her arm. So it's definitely saying the snake is the hair. Look at that. That's confirming that. It's the hair. And there's a whole bunch of women here laying down. I don't know if they all have their hair down there, but there's all these women. There's a whole bunch laying down their hair. It's like locks for life. And a blanket. It's like she's creating a blanket for the masculine to fall into. To catch him when he falls. To catch him when he falls. How beautiful. So he'll be like light as a feather. Okay, so the first one out was the wolf. I'm going to read you the wolf, and then the let the feminine lead the way. All right, wolf. Wolf is earth. Guardian of the family and the tribe, activism and ritual. The wolf's mission is to uphold the well-being and longevity of the pack. The healthy wolf energy expresses itself through activism, mentorship, humanitarian efforts, or teaching, religious or political studies. The wolf gets into trouble when it assumes that every member of the tribe must follow suit. This includes children walking in their parents' footsteps. Although it will surely be uncomfortable at first, practicing tolerance helps balance out agitated wolf energy. Contemplate the following. Embrace all, exclude none. And that includes the one, no man left behind. When in balance, reliable, democratic, and fearless. When out of balance, judgmental and dominating. To bring back into balance, practice letting go. Okay? There's that wolf. And then for the 39. 39 is let the feminine lead the way. The feminine principle in you, whether you're a man or a woman, is the way forward in your life now. She is the principle of feeling and surrender. She feels the intelligence of the divine guiding light in a way that the masculine principle cannot at this time. You may not see where you're going, therefore, but you can feel your way forward. Feel your way forward. Trust her. Let your mind go and let your senses lead you, becoming more exquisite and communicative. Be led by your heart, and don't worry if you don't know all the details yet or how it's going to work out. She knows the way. Let her lead. This oracle brings confirmation to you that what you've been feeling or sensing, even without any logical physical evidence, is worth following up on. Trust your senses, which came up in the read today too, over appearances. Trust your intuition over your intellect. You are letting the feminine wisdom guide you, and she will steer you in the best direction. My coming out is the freedom to fully be who I am, and the surrender to the divine essence expressing through and around me, which totally was all about the read today. My coming out is the marriage of twin souls with my life partner in gratitude and in love, unfolding as more than we ever could be on our own. Well, there you go, guys. Don't forget your water and your sleep and your joy and your nature. Just being good to yourselves. And to breathe and rise and be love. I'll see you soon, guys. Have an amazing day. I'll see you soon.